Ron.
Good morning to you all, and welcome to Kent State University for our professional development model presentation. Our topic for this presentation is Digital Interactive Notebook DIN, a tool to differentiate instruction across learning areas. Before we start the discussion, we would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Prosper Agojo. I am a social studies teacher. I teach at Infantimine Girls Senior High School, Saltpond, Ghana.
I'm Theophilus Apia, also from Ghana. I teach at Hunterman Girls Senior High School.
I am Christina Nepomuceno. I am from the Philippines and I teach physics in Bicol Regional Science High School.
I am Marlene Villarreal. I teach physics at Agusan National High School, Butuan City, Philippines.
Thank you. As you've seen, we are working as a team. So we are going to present this very topic together. Now, before we start the ball rolling, I would like to find out from you about the challenges or problems that your students and yourselves go through when you are using traditional notebook. Traditional notebook here, I mean the exercise books and the notebooks that students use in class and those that teachers use. What are some of the challenges, if you can help me?
They get lost all the time.
You get lost all the time. Thank you. Any other? Yes, Jake.
I have problems organizing the notebooks.
The
notes are taken at random and it's not organized.
That's good. Any other? So we realize that when students are using these exercise books, they go through a lot of difficulties. This is the main reason why we have decided to look for a means by which we can reduce the burden on students to alleviate that problem that students go through when they are using traditional notebooks. Some of them come to class, they complain. They can't find their exercise books, they can't find their pen. Some are even lazy because the class is not entertaining. So we decided to look for a topic or a means by which we can make the class lively. That is why I adopted this topic, Digital Interactive Notebook. Now, if we want to use this digital interactive notebook, what can we do? We have to put some measures in place which my colleagues are going to expand on. Now, by the end of this presentation, we want our participants to go home with some information, and those who are watching us online should understand how to use this digital notebook. So the first general objective is that we want our participants to be able to design DIN, Digital Interactive Notebook. Two, we want our participants to identify and be able to explain the importance of Digital Interactive Notebook. And lastly, we want our participants to learn and be conversant with how to demonstrate Digital Interactive Notebook. As you've seen, it is not for one subject alone. It can be used in various subjects: math, English, social studies, geography, and other areas.
Prosper has given the overview of our professional development module. In this presentation, we will be introducing session 1, and our objective is for our participants to describe and create DIN. To start, does this sound familiar? I can't find my notes, homework, quizzes. I can't remember what we did yesterday. I was absent last week and I don't have notes. My classmates won't lend me his or her notes. These are just some of the constant whining that we hear from our students. Our group thought of a way on how to answer or address this problem, and we come up with digital interactive notebook. The reasoning behind DIN or digital interactive notebook re-originated from instructional strategies such as note-taking, concept mapping, organization of information, and brain as well as brain research about how our students learn best. Now, what is DIN? To give you a picture, this is a page from a physics digital interactive note, a complete one. This is a completed page of the physics DIN. Now, to make things clear, a digital interactive notebook is simply an electronic notebook used to organize information. It is a place where to record information that can be accessed anywhere and at any time. The platform or the software that we're using here is the Evernote. As mentioned by my colleague, this can be used across learning areas. Okay? On the cover, you can see the subject area, the teacher's name, the student's name, and at the bottom are the number of pages that are already present in that notebook. Page 1 is all about you. This is where students and teachers share information about themselves. This bridge the connection between the student and the teachers. They share information to establish trust and openness. This is also one way for a teacher to know what type of learner his or her student. Page 2 is where students and teacher discuss the rules and rubrics. This is where students are involved in making and take part in knowing how they are graded and assessed. On the succeeding pages, the right side is used for notes that are provided by teachers. According to research, teachers who provide their students with notes were shown to have better achievement than those whose students make their own or record their own notes. On the left side, this is where students express understanding of what they've learned from the information provided to them. This setup helps the brain make connection of what is experienced or learned through the information provided to them and what these experiences means to the learner. These are just some of the things that can a teacher place on the right side, on his side. This can be in varied forms. It can be written, it can be audio, it can be video, it can be a PowerPoint presentation, web resources, and simulation, and other things. These are just some of the outputs that can student place on his side in response to the information, or this is where the students show their understanding and be creative in their ways.
Now, I will be giving you an overview on how are we going to create a digital interactive notebook, or DIN in short. So at this part of the module, of the professional development module, the participants are expected to already have downloaded the Evernote, wherein it is an application that can be used to create DIN, and they should be able to learn how to use it. But just to give you a short overview on how are we going to create DIN, we have these 3 easy steps in creating DIN. Okay? The first one is to familiarize yourself about Evernote, which is the application to be used in creating DIN. So as you can see here, this icon, the green one with an elephant, that one is an icon used for Evernote. So it is necessary for you to download the application, and the application can be run using your phone, using your laptops, using your iPad, or other computer that you have. And of course, you need to create an account. Creating an account is very easy, specifically if you have your Gmail account or Google account. You can just link it to that one and then you already have your account. And of course, how are you going to get started? Of course, you need to sign in. You need to sign in. And then you need to create a notebook, add a note, and then share. Okay? Now, we are going to perform just a simple activity. So we have prepared a simple activity for you to do. Okay. So as you can see here, we have the link for you. For those who are here inside the classroom, we are going to give you laptops so that you can work on it. For those watching us at home or online, you can click this link. And then that will lead you to the page that we wanted you to work on. So So here we have created just a mini lesson wherein we can use digital interactive notebook. So if you are going to look at the notebook, this part, we have here teacher's input, right? And the student's output is blank. Now, why is it blank? You are to pretend like you are a student. So you will be the one to fill in the student's output. So if we are going to look at this, the teacher can put a PowerPoint presentation wherein the students can look at it during the discussion or even after discussion. And then we have several activities too. Now we have the link here. Okay. We have the link, activity. Okay, first one, you are going to click the link and watch the video for just 2 minutes. Okay, and then number 2, you are going to prepare a poster, song, infographic, poster, or just a short essay showing your understanding of the video that you have watched. So this is just a very short lesson that we are going to do for this particular activity. Now, do you have some question regarding the activity for those who are here? Anyway, my colleagues are there to help you. So let us now watch all together the video that we have here.
Huh? Whoa! I'm no insect, Mr. Frog. Let me go! Hey there! What a lovely morning, isn't it? Well, it indeed is for me. I just got saved. Oops! This reminds me that I got to tell you about the food chain in our ecosystem. Zoom in! A food chain describes how different organisms eat each other for survival. The chain usually starts with a plant and ends with an animal. Just like how you saw the plant being eaten by a caterpillar and how it ended up in the frog's stomach. The food chain comprises of the producers, consumers, and decomposers. Plants are producers. They absorb sunlight, which is readily available, water, and other nutrients from the soil, and produce their food through a process called photosynthesis. Plants are the only living being which creates new energy for the other living beings. Consumers. Animals are consumers. This is because they don't produce energy. They just use it up. Animals that eat plants are called primary consumers or herbivores. Animals that eat other animals are called secondary consumers or carnivores. If a carnivore eats another carnivore, it is called a tertiary consumer. Some animals play both roles. eating both plants and animals. They are called omnivores. Decomposers. Bacteria and fungi are decomposers. They are also called detrivores. They eat decaying matter, that is, dead plants and animals, and in the process, they break them down and decompose them.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. You're watching the movie. So now you have an overview of the video. So let us now go back to the note that I have shown a while ago. Okay. So now you have there number 2, activity. Your activity now is that you are going to pretend that you are a student, and then create something on this part here, the student's output. Whether you want to create a poem or just put some words that show your understanding of the very short video clip that we have presented. Okay? So I will be giving you like 2 minutes to work on it. Now, for those of you who are watching online, the people here are actually creating or putting their output in the Evernote page. Okay? So you can also see in the screen that we are also going to show you how we can do it. So my colleague here will also be pretending that she is a student. So she will also work while others are working. For those of you who are watching online, you can also work on your own. Like you have the link, you can work on it. Okay. Again, we are going to show you the link on how are you going to access the note that they are working on. This is the link. Okay. So again, I would want to show you how this link or what is linked in this particular URL. Can you please open it so that those who are viewing can again see how it looks like. You only have 1 minute for you to finish your work. Now someone is working here. So as you can see, the student can actually edit this one. Here. Okay. So this is a sample student output. What particular output you have here? Oh, it's a poem. Now, how about for those who are here? What do you have as your answer or response? Student? Yes, Shek?
I had a drawing.
Oh, you had a drawing. Can I borrow your drawing so that we can show it to them? Okay. So they have the drawing here. Can you say something about the drawing, Shek?
Yeah, I try to represent the 3 elements that are part of the food chain. like the producers, the consumers, and the decomposers. And I try to show the link that is between them. And what happens is that when you see the drawing, you don't know where it starts from, and that's what interests you. You don't know where it starts from.
Okay, very good. Other responses? Thank you, Sheikh.
One thing that we were thinking of is how can farmers that produce keep energy in the ground, CO2, and not release it in the atmosphere and help continue the problem that humans. This is a 12th grade question.
Yeah, okay. So now they are thinking critically. Yeah, okay, thank you so much. So any other response to that? Some more responses? Nancy, what do you have there?
Actually, I'm having trouble getting into my account. So that's
Okay. Okay. Later we're going to address that one. Okay. So now, what experiences did you encounter while you are working or you are pretending like a student?
It's very interesting as a student to see that what you are writing is being seen at the very moment you are writing. Like you don't need to wait. You have the feedback right now. So it's very interesting. It's a new experience compared to the traditional way of taking down notes.
So are you saying that it enhances motivation and then it sustains also student engagement?
Yes, this can really this can really help students involved in the process of learning.
Thank you.
I would agree with that. Having the chance to have my own thoughts about what I'm learning, what is coming in, is very helpful. And I struggle with staying organized, so having it all in one place is very helpful.
Okay, great. So now you are saying that maybe it addresses different types of learners that we have. Okay. How about you, Mila Rosa?
I can relate.
Okay.
But I think this is really a good way of an alternative assessment.
Okay.
It's not a traditional way of getting students involved. You get the needed learning on that.
Okay, so you are now in the 21st century education.
As I was watching the film, raised some questions, and I wonder, I've heard the term regenerative farming, where the idea is to produce crops but not release CO2. So I was stimulated to think that I'd like to gather more information and maybe talk to farmers and read an article on regenerative farming.
Excellent. So the notebook or the type of lesson that we have engages you and wanted you to learn more about it. Is that what you mean?
More, yes, and get some more information.
Thank you so much.
Good afternoon once again to our in-house audience and those of you who are watching us from outside this room. The choice of this topic was necessitated by the fact that as teachers, we have identified some shortcomings of the traditional notebook. As you are all aware, students come to class and not participate in class lesson. Ask the reason why. I forgot my notebook at home. When I was coming, it was raining heavily. So then my books got wet and then I can't use it. My friend is refusing to lend me his or her notebook. So we devised this topic so that even without the student coming to school with a notebook, he or she can still be part of the lesson by accessing the information online. It does not matter whether you don't have a computer, you can still make use of your cell phone. So the digital interactive notebook seems to address this problem of students coming to school without the notebook. Secondly, what we also identified as teachers is that students have different abilities to learn. In his book, Instructional Coaching by Jim Knight, he says that if students are not learning the way we teach, then we should teach the way they learn. That is is to say that students have different abilities, and it is up to you as a teacher to identify these abilities and to condescend to their level and to teach the way they will understand. And differentiated instruction makes accommodation for students with different learning abilities so that as teachers, we can meet them at the point of their need. We also came up with this topic to make room for students who will want to devise various means at arriving at the set objectives. You may have an objective to attain, but then you may have different means to achieve that objective. We are supposed to move from here, Whitehall, to our place of residence. Some may decide to go by road. Some are going by car. Some are going by different other routes. But at the end of the day, we will all get to our final destination. That is to say that we can arrive at the same objective through different means. Differentiated instruction through the use of DIN will allow our students to use areas that they find themselves having the advantage to use, so that at the end of the day, no student is left behind. We may go through different routes, but at the end of the day, we will arrive at our final destination. Once again, this topic was chosen so that we can take care of students who have, should I say, different ways of coming up with their own understanding. Some are good at drawing, or some of the students, their knowledge is reinforced by what they see. I'm talking about visuals. The Evernote that was talked about by my colleague, it also makes room for videos. You can download videos on the YouTube and put them there, so that students whose knowledge is reinforced by what they see, as Jim Knight also said, that when students hear, they forget. But when they see, they remember. So there are some students, their knowledge will better be reinforced by what they see. That is why we have made provision for those students. The Evernote will take care of your videos, your charts, in short, infographics, information put in the form of diagrams. So it will take care of the various abilities of the student we have. And there is one other thing that informs our choice of student, this topic. Now, as a teacher, you can only be effective when you know the real need of your student. Sometimes we assume that students are not good because they are not grasping what they are teaching. But we have students who are slow starters. When you are presenting a lesson, they may not be able to grasp it at first instance, but give them some time. They will pick up. So as a teacher, when you have this sufficient information about your student with regards to their learning abilities, then to give you the opportunity also to allow them some time to catch up with the rest. They may not be able to grasp it at first time, but give them some time, they will come up to meet the students who are already ahead. So digital interactive notebook, as a teacher who handles over 50 students, you can't assume that all the 50 students will catch up with the lesson at one go. So you assign different tasks to different students in the same class by the use of this thing. So it even allows you as a teacher to manage the classroom setting. Because when you are attending to students who are already ahead and leaving those behind, it means that you are going to have a disjoint classroom management. But with the DIN, you are sure that you can assign various tasks. Take it for instance, a student who is supposed to draw, write, and do other tasks. The fact that those who are supposed to do all these tasks have finished, but others are still lagging behind because maybe they are not good at drawing. Give them some time. That is what this topic is aimed at. It is aimed at attending to various needs of the various students. So while others are drawing, others are only listing points, others are doing other things. So the digital interactive notebook, we thought it was a good tool because it will address some of the challenges we face in the classroom. I will, at this point, pause a while and ask you for your input by way of questions, suggestions, recommendations, whatever. Well, yes, let's take a question from one of our audience.
I really like the way that this allows learners to express their learning, as you say, through drawing, through video, through. Does it also come with tools for creating videos, for creating drawings, for recording a student, maybe creating a podcast or just talking? Or do students need to, for example, go use iMovies or YouTube to create their video and then they link it to Evernote? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, thanks for that question. But it is even the more reason why we made use of the Evernote. As I said, you can go to YouTube, you download your video that you want, but you can also even create your own voice. Sometimes a teacher will ask a question, but the question will demand that you answer it verbally. You can put that voice, you can record that voice and put it over there so that you don't even need to go to the teacher. The teacher will only access the voice to put on the Evernote. So you have answered, the teacher is having interaction with you, but then you are not present physically. That is the magic of the use of Evernote.
In addition to what you have said, we have here, we are going to show you an example of a note, a complete note. So you have here the teacher's input and the student's output. So here, it is not only the activities that the student or the instructions for the activities. You can also put lecture slides like that one. You can attach PowerPoint presentation so that it will link the students to your presentation. Suppose they wanted to open it again after the discussion. You also have that, you can put several links. And in this case, this is for physics. So the link is accessible, it is there. So the students doesn't need to take down some notes and put it anywhere. So it is just there, it is handy, and it is in just one spot or one place. And what else do we have there? Okay, so here are now the directions. So let us now look at the sample students input or our output. Okay, so here is a sample drawing. Is this a screenshot or yeah? So this is a screen capture, so they can paste it there. And then we also have sample drawing. They can also have sample recorded video. So this is in response to the simulation that they have they created, or simulation that they have explored online. So they had a video of it. They can put it so that the teacher can look at it. And then you can also have okay. So this is a sample final output. So it entails, or you can attach several things on it. So there's no need for more papers and more other things that the students can submit. And then the teachers will find it easy to access all those information, because you can just share the note with a particular student, and that particular student can access it and can edit it, and then can submit it or share it with you. Some more questions? Oh, okay, wait. Yes.
It's not a question, but more of a comment.
Okay.
I think the challenge here for teachers would be to make sure that they got the video. I mean, they choose good videos for the students, and also make sure that students friendly and the words. Like, for example, he was talking about the generative farming or whatever. So at least we have to consider the language used so that it will be more understandable and more friendly for them to understand, easy to understand. But it would also be very, it's a good opportunity for them to go beyond what is being taught. Like, students will be able to really find and motivated to what's that word about. So something like that. It's not for every student. Not every student would be motivated. So maybe we could give some means or ways of intervention so that they will be able to understand clearly what is being made for the videos, or and should be appropriate for the video.
Yeah. Exactly. So I agree with you. So as teachers, it is now a challenge for us to choose appropriate materials to include in our interactive notebook, so that it should fit in the type of learners that we have, and then what grade are they in, and of course it should be parallel to what we should be teaching them. Some more.
And I was thinking about, is it possible to imagine this kind of relationship between teachers and administration? Can it be used for a kind of, can the teachers use it with a principal, for example, like to write reports or things like that? I mean, is it only usable in the classroom? Can we use it in the administration?
Over here, when you are using Evernote, you can share.
Yeah.
So teachers can share whatever they have or they have prepared on their notes with the administration, so that the administration will also have a proud information of what the teacher is going to teach.
Yeah. I'm
And
asking
the
the question
feedback-
because in my system, the administration is all the time checking what you're doing. So I'm thinking about doing the same system with them so that.
Oh, yeah. So that it should be between
Yeah.
you and then the administrator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Evernote provides a platform where these notes can be shared to students, to parents,
Yeah.
or to administrators.
Yeah, and it's also such that as you do it, it saves
Yeah.
naturally. So even if you are not able to access it at the point of the lesson, later on, you can still access the lesson. So it is not something that can be lost.
This is a more logistical question, but does the teacher's page look different than the student's page? So if you're looking at, if it's your teacher page, do you see all of your different students' output? And then do your students only see their own output? Does that make sense?
When we are in our PDM, we are able to show how this as individual notes. At first, it's the teacher side that is completed, shared to the students, and if there's an instruction that the students should be able to copy this page as their own, and then provide their answers, and then their notebooks are already pre-shared to the teacher. So each student should be able to share their notebook with the teacher, so that the teacher can see the.
Students
But then
individual.
between students, they cannot see the outputs of their classmates.
And it's also addressed this question of this formative assessment. As a teacher teaches, he must be able to see whether the students are making progress. So the instant feedback he's getting from the student will give him an idea whether he should go on the same path or redirect his path.
Some more questions?
Wrap it up. Say goodbye.
Okay, thanks for
Thank
the
you so
audience.
much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.